Vaya Bhagavatu Tamas Loke Bhakti Bhavati Nestike Videramini Chaiva Purane Bharati Tata Hado Adya Chamade Chahari Sabachagiyate Mukam Karotiva Chalam Frangu Langarache Grihi Ya Kripataham Vande Sri Guru Dinatarine Paramananda Madhava Dhamma Prajita Katavota Paramo Nimasam Satan Vedam Vastava Matavastu Shivadun Tapatayo Mulanan Sima Bhagavatam Mahamuni Kritiki Vaya Paraishvara Sadhu Rudi Avarudati Takatvita Kishanan Nigama Kapatalugali Fala Sukamukan Dravasanjutan Pibatam Bhagavatam Rasamalaya Mahura Urasika Bhavaka Atoyam Brahmasutranam Bharatata Vedinaya Gayati Bhasharu Posho Vedata Paribhimita Sababiditya Sanam Saram Saram Paribhimita Sababidantam Saram He Sri Bhagavatam Mishyate Tara Samitasya Tivtasya Nayatya Sharati Kwachi Jnanatimandasya Gananganan Salakaya Chakshusmita Yena Tasma Sri Gurave Namah Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapita Yena Bhutale Sayarupa Kadama Yena Dati Swampadantikan Namamo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pistaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nibisi Sashinvari Pashta Dishtarini Vanjakapatarubhyascha Kripasindhave Vachapatitana Pavanavibhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasati Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So I thank everyone for being here this evening my time, afternoon sometime, morning time some other time, as we have devotees connected from various parts of the world. So I thank everyone being on this Hare Krishna Africa Forum. Since it has become popular, because I can see many senior devotees from all over the world, they are speaking on the platform, so this is good. So, as I said, Nityam Bhagavatam Sevaya means that one should eternally be hearing Bhagavatam. In this way, one's life become auspicious. So we are in the first canto of Bhagavatam, chapter 1. And today, no, not chapter 1, text chapter 19 and text number 8. So the Sutta Goswami is narrating Parikshit Maharaj, after hearing that he has been caused to die within 7 days. So hearing that he has been caused to die within 7 days, so he did not protest. He did not protest his being caused to die within 7 days, because he knows that this is the Lord's own arrangement. That yes, it's the Lord's arrangement. The time has come for him to really relinquish all whatever needs to be done in this material world. As a matter of fact, because yes, he put a dead snake on the neck of a rishi, Samika rishi, which is not honorable act itself. And he, of course, afterward became remorseful. After that, became remorseful to what he has done, and then he was expecting punishment. He was expecting, okay, something is going to come from this. That yes, I've done this dishonorable acts of putting a death snake on a meditating sage. And then the son of the rishi, Sringi, he hearing that what has happened to his father, that his father has been put a death snake on the neck of his father by a king. So he said, oh, what is this? What has the kingly community has become? The Kshatriya, what have they become? So he decided to punish the king. Then he said, okay, within 7 days from now, 7 days from today, the king is going to be killed by serpent, Takshaka. So this was the act perpetrated by Sringi. And of course, sometimes the kingly class, sometimes they overstep their boundaries sometimes, just like what happened to Parasuram, his father, Jamadagni. So the Kshatriyas, they actually killed his father, who was a rishi, who was a sage. So they killed his father, Jamadagni, and then Parasuram. So even though he was a sage himself, he's a Brahman, but being a Brahmana he saw that yes, the Kshatriya community, they become very corrupted. They become very corrupted. They overstep their boundaries. So therefore, he decided to punish the Kshatriyas. But what did he do? He killed them. So he was exterminating all the Kshatriyas, and he did it 21 times, which means 21 different dynasties. He was killing the Kshatriyas. Because the Kshatriyas, they're supposed to establish the religious principles. They're supposed to show by good example and all that. But sometimes they do things which is not within the realm of the Vedic regulations. So Parasuram, he killed exterminated the Kshatriyas dynasty for the 21 generations. That's a long period of time. So taking this into consideration, Sringi also said that, oh, these Kshatriyas, they're supposed to be like guardian dogs. And sometimes these guardian dogs, sometimes they think that because a dog's not supposed to come inside the house. A dog's not supposed to come inside the house. And sometimes these Kshatriyas, they feel themselves above their master. Their master means the Brahmanas are the masters of this. They're the masters because the Brahmanas, they're the top, they are the head of the social class. The Vedic social class, the Brahmanas are the head of it. You have Brahmanas, you have the Kshatriyas, you have the Vaishyas, and then you have the Sudras. So the Brahmanas, they're supposed to be the head, and the Kshatriyas, they're supposed to be looking out to protect the Brahmanas. But in this case, this king, this is what he has done. He put a dead snake on the neck of my father. So therefore, I have to punish him. He was going to die within the next 7 days. 7 days from today, he's going to die by a snake bite. So this was the punishment leveled out to Parikshit Maharaj. Now, one thing that was forgotten, which was not taken into consideration by Sringi, is that Parikshit Maharaj was not an ordinary person. He was not an ordinary person. He was a devotee of the Lord. He wasn't an ordinary person, Right from his birth, even not just right from the womb, he was a devotee of the Lord. He was a devotee right from the womb of his, right from the womb of his mother. The Lord himself appeared before him. The Lord appeared before him within the womb, and the Lord gave him protection. Why, when Ashwatthama, when he was sending the chakra, I mean not chakra, he was sending the Brahmastra to kill the child. Parikshit was in the womb of his mother, but because the mother, the fathers, the grandfather, they all devotees of the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. So Uttara calling out to the Lord for protection. Payi Payi Mahayogi, Deva Deva Jagatpate. Right now, I'm praying to Lord Krishna that, oh my dear Lord, the Supreme Yoga, the Supreme Yogi, Deva Deva Jagatpate, you are the Lord of all the Lord of all the universes. You are the Lord of Lords. Pahi Pahi means please protect me. Please protect me. So Uttara calling out to the Lord for protection, and the Lord came and entered her womb and protected this child from being exterminated by the weapons of Ashwatthama. And then while in the womb, Parikshit did see, he saw the Lord in the womb. He saw the Lord. So Parikshit is a was prepared the waters. So Stringi did not take this into consideration at all. And even when this father, when Prasamika Rishi, when he came out of meditation and learned and saw that he got a report about what his son has done, that his son had given a cause to the king because of what the king did. So the father, Samik Rishi, he was not at all happy at all. He will say, oh, my dear son, what have you done? What have you done, my dear son? This king, he's the protector of everyone. He's a protector. What have you done? This is not a glorious act at all. What have you done? So Samik Rishi, he regretted that what his son has done. And of course, it's considered that the degradation of the Brahminical class began from that time. From that time of Stringi, the degradation of the Brahminical class in the age of Kali. So having been given a cause by the Brahma Stringi, so Parikshit Maharaj, he did not seek any defense. He did not, it's not that, okay, he has been caused now, what to do? He was not looking for some yogi or some babalawo or something to come and protect him from this cause. He saw, oh, this is a great opportunity. Now, I can now turn myself towards the Lord. So I'm going to read the text first, today's text, and then we will do deliberation on that. So this is very, very beautiful. This chapter of Bhagavatam, this 19th chapter, all the way till the next 3 chapters, when Sukadeva Goswami replying to Parikshit Maharaj. These are very, very beautiful chapters. That if you actually, if you take our time reading these 3 before chapters, we can gain a lot. We can gain a lot about what is the prime necessity of life. Just very, very beautiful chapters. The initial reply, the question of Parikshit Maharaj to Sukadeva Goswami, and then the initial replies of Question by Parishya Maharaj, and then they replied by Sukadeva Goswami. Very, 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 very beautiful. Very, very beautiful to hear. And that's why Srimad Bhagavatam means, Srimad means beautiful, and Bhagavatam means topic of the Supreme Lord. So there's a beautiful narration of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So I just read the text, and then we read the synonyms, the purpose, translation. Trato pajagmu bhuvanam punanam mahanubhava munaya sasishyaha prayena tita bigama de gama de shai swayan hiti tane punanti santaha. Tato pajagmu bhuvanam punanam mahanubhava munaya sasishyaha prayena tita bigama pade sai swayahi titani punanti santaha. Tatra, there, Upajagmu arrived, Bhuvanam, the universe, Punana, those who can sanctify, Mahanubhavaha, great minds, Monaya, thinkers, Sasishyaha, along with their disciples, Prayena, almost, Tirtha, place of pilgrimage, Abhigama, journey, Apadesai, on the plea of Swayam, personally, he, certainly, Tithani, all the places of pilgrimage, Punanti, sanctify, Santaha, sages. Translation and purpose by His Divine Grace is Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. At that time, all the great minds and thinkers, accompanied by their disciples and sages, who could verily sanctify a place of pilgrimage just by their presence, arrived there on the plea of making a pilgrim's journey. Purport. When Mara Parikshit sat down on the bank of the Ganges, the news spread in all directions of the universe, and the great mandate sages who could follow the importance of the occasion all arrived there on the plea of pilgrimage. Actually, they came to meet Mara Parikshit and not to take a bath of pilgrimage, because all of them were competent enough to sanctify the places of pilgrimage. Common men go to pilgrimage sites to get themselves purified of all sins. Thus, the places of pilgrimage become overburdened with the sins of others. But when such sages visit overburdened places of pilgrimage, they sanctify the places by their presence. Therefore, the sages who came to meet Mara Parikshit were not very much interested in getting themselves purified like common men, but on the plea of taking a bath in that place, they came to meet Mara Parikshit because they could foresee that Srimad Bhagavatam would be spoken by Sukadeva Goswami. All of them wanted to take advantage of the great occasion. So nicely, such a beautiful Papa Vaishnava Prabhupada, talking about these great personalities who have come from all over the universe. They came from all over not just the planet, but all over the universe, just to come and be with Parikshit Maharaj. Great sages, great personalities, great minds, great thinkers. Tattva Jagmo, Bhuvana Punana, which means the great, Bhuvana Punana means those who can actually sanctify the universe. And by the way, I see some persons on this platform who are here already. Ganga Prashad Prabhu is here, let's say Shiva's Prabhu is here. So I thank everyone for being here. So this is topics of contemplation. You know, he mentioned in the when Yudhishthira Maharaj, when he was welcoming Vidura back to the palace, after Vidura had been gone for a long period of time, because he was insulted by Duryodhana, and then he left the palace, he left Isnapur, he went to the place of pilgrimage. And then he came back. He came back to the palace because he knew the events that has been transpiring. So at that time, Yudhishthira Maharaj said, was that the Swayam Vibhu Bhagavata was that. Anyway, there's Titani, this is, what is that? Swayam Stinagada, but there's some verse, I kind of forgot a little bit. This is a verse that is indicating of how the great sages, the great personality, the great Vaishnavas, how they travel to many, many places of pilgrimage. So they travel to places of pilgrimage, like they go to so many, many holy rivers and all that. The great Vaishnavas, the great Bhaktas, the great Bhavats, they go many, many places of pilgrimage. Now, why did they go there? Because after all, they're already pure. They're already purified. And normally people go to places of pilgrimage, just like here in Vrindavan. Many people come here to Vrindavan. They go take bath in the Yamuna. They visit many places. They come to the temples. Or in Mayapur, you know, the people go there to take bath in the Ganges and all that. But people go there for blessings. You know, because people know that because their life has been, let's say, you know, sinful. So they go there for blessing. They go to take bath and also ask the sadhus to bless them and all that. So they go there to bless, they go there so that they can purify themselves of their sins. And of course, you know, they go there to purify themselves of their sins, and then they go back to wherever they come from, and then again, they start committing sins again. So normally people go to place of pilgrimage on a yearly, they make it like a yearly effort, yearly place to go there, because there they can deposit the reactions to their sinful activities. But the pure devotee, the great devotees, they also go to this place of pilgrimage. You know, now why did they go there? Because the Lord has performed activities in those places. So therefore, the great devotees, they love to go to those places where the Lord has performed activities. The Lord has performed his pastimes. Like Vrindavan. Vrindavan is full of lila stylis. Lila stylis means places of pastimes where the Lords have appeared. Where the Lords have performed so many pastimes. Lila stylis. And we have Ramareti, we have Krishna Balaram, where they used to play. We have Tirgat, where Krishna stole the garments of the gopis. We have Dira Samira, where Krishna danced with the gopis. Then you have Govardhan lilies there. Many places of pilgrimage is there, where the Lord performs so many pastimes. So devotees, they visit this place of pastimes in order to, and they get great jubilation, you know, because they become overcome with ecstasy by visiting this place of pilgrimage and remembering the pastimes of the Lord. Just like in Mayapur also, for example, this is where Chaitanya Prabhu performed his childhood pastimes. The whole of Navadvip is full of, it's all places of place. It's all places where Chaitanya Prabhu perform his pastime lila, his lila pastimes. Then you have places like Ayodhya, where Laura Machanda performed his pastimes, or you have places like Chitrakoot, the place where the Lord, he went to exile. Actually, that's one of the things why India is such a glorified place, because the incarnation of the Lord, they come in many, many places here in India, and they perform so many pastimes. And that's why it usually mentions that that Bharat is actually the most, the most highly glorified places on the planet, because the Lord comes and performs so many wonderful lila. So the great devotees, the great Vaishnavas, the great sages, they go to all these places and they remain to relish these various pastimes which are performed by the Lord. And then by doing so, because their presence purifies the places, their presence purifies the place. So when they go, when the ordinary people go to the same place and they put all their sinful activities there, and the place of pilgrimage become overburdened with the people's sinful reactions. So what to do? When there's a place and people put so much garbage in the place, what to do? Somebody has to clean up the garbage that has been dumped in a place. So when the pure devotees go, the great Vaishnavas, the great personalities go, the sages go to these places, just by their presence, the place becomes purified. And the place becomes purified of all the sins of the people. So that's why the great Vaishnavas, the great devotees, they are called personified places of pilgrimage. So just by being in their presence of the pure devotees, then one has visited all the places of pilgrimage. One has visited all the places of pilgrimage just by being in their presence. So Parikshit Maharaj, he got cursed by the rishis. He got caught by the son of the rishi that, okay, 7 days from now, he's going to die, he's going to leave his body. So he took this as a great opportunity. So he said, oh, this is an opportunity for me to renounce this material world. He said, this is a great opportunity for me to renounce this material world. And then what did he do? Immediately, he gave up his kingdom. He gave up to his son. He gave his kingdom to his son. And himself, he went to the bank of the Ganges. Why does he have to choose the Ganges among all the rivers? Because River Ganges is a very special river. Ganges, it's a river, is water that has washed the lotus feet of the Lord. Just like yesterday, Shiva's Prabhu was mentioned yesterday of how Bali Maharaj, when he was inviting many people to come and collect gifts, charity, and all the Brahmanas have come, and so Vamandev, so he went there to also ask for charity. I don't want to repeat the story again, but when Vamandev, when he extended his leg, and that covers the whole universe. And then his toe pierces the covering of the universe. And we shouldn't, how thick is the covering of the universe? It's not a small covering, the universal covering. Because mentioned in Bhagavatam 4th canto that this universe that we are in is 4 billion miles in diameter. 4 billion miles in diameter, this universe. Now, there are 8 shells of universal covering. There are 8 elements. So there are 8 coverings of the universe. And the first covering, which is the earth, it's is 10 times the size, the diameter of this universe. So which means this universe, which is 4 billion miles. So the first covering, which is the Earth, that makes it 40 billion miles. And then the next covering is the water, and that itself is 10 times the previous covering. So which means 40 billion miles times 10, that's 400 billion miles. And then the next covering, which is the fire, that's 10 times the previous one. And then it goes on, it goes like that. So by the time you reach the 8th element, you can just imagine how many billions and billions of miles is this. But when Lord Vaman, when he extended his leg, his toe pierced the covering of the universe. You can just see how thick the covering is. That is billions and billions and billions of miles in thickness. But Vamandev, he pierced the covering. And then the water from the spiritual world comes down. The water from the spiritual world comes down. And that water is Ganges. So when the water came, and that water first, it first did the Abhishek of Vamandev. And after the Abhishek, and that water comes down. And then it came down to this universe. And then from there is a whole story of how the Ganges actually came down to this planet Earth. There's a whole story. Because when it came, it was like a big, mighty water, mighty river when it came, big because it was rushing down, that the planet cannot contain it. But there's a lot of story in terms of how Lord Shiva, how he was able to bear the force of Ganges, and then from there the Bhagirati came. Bhagirati, who was praying to the Lord, who was praying for this river to come down. So this river Ganges, it comes down, and wherever that water touches, that place becomes the most sanctified. That place becomes the most sanctified, whatever the river touches. So therefore, actually, all the devotees of the Lord, that they only go to places where river Ganges flow. Normally, you will not find devotees in any place where Ganges do not flow. It mentioned that the Pandavas, when they were traveling through all the places, in the time of the exile, they only go to places where river Ganges flow. They will not go to another place, because by seeing the river Ganges, one seen the Lord. So they only go to those places only where the Ganges flow. Now there was an analysis which is being given by Vrindavan Das Thakur in the Chaitanya Bhagavat. So he was saying that because the devotees, we only make the appearance, or we only make the habitation at a place where the Ganges flow. So how come sometimes there are devotees of the Lord who sometimes we see them taking birth in many, many impious lands? Why is that? Because since they said that devotees, we only take birth or do the activities in that place where the river Ganges flow. But sometimes we see that sometimes we find devotees, pure devotees, who will take birth in impious places, impious land. Just like we know, for example, many of devotees they take birth in America, in Africa, many places like that. So how come? So this question was being asked by Vrindavan Thakur in his narration of the activities of Chaitanya Prabhu. He said that because the devotees who are like the ocean of mercy, in order to actually purify many impious places on earth, so they actually take birth in many impious lands, in many impious places. They take birth there because that is the only way by which those places could ever be purified. Otherwise, no. So being such a sacred river, So Parikshit Maharaj, he went to sit down. He went to sit down underneath the, I think there's a tree there. So he went to sit down on the bank of the Ganges, waiting for the mercy of the Lord to come upon him. So as he was sitting down, as he had retired himself on the bank of the Ganges, so there's a news that got broadcasted. Like at that time, all the CNN, all the BBC, all the ABC, all the many networks, they broadcast all over the universe. They was broadcasted that Parikshit Maharaj, he had sat down on the bank of the Ganges, waiting for the end of his life. He has sat down there. So all the rishis, great sages, they heard this news, say, oh, Parikshit Maharaj, he sat down on the bank of the Ganges, waiting for his death. So let us all go and be with him. So all the rishis, they start coming from all over the planet, from all the universes. They are coming. And then, now there's what is it that piqued the interest of the rishis? How come all of a sudden whatever they were doing, they all decided to come to be with Parikshit Maharaj? And many of these rishis, these personalities, they are like millions and millions of years old. We are talking of personalities like Vishwamitra, Vashishta. We're going to be hearing their names in the next verse. All these great personalities, millions and millions of years ago, great sages. And they all come from different part of the universe, different planet. They all come. Now, why is it that they came to just to be with Sukadeva, just to be Parikshit Maharaj? Why did they come? Why? Because they've got indication. They receive an indication that the Supreme Lord is going to come, is going to manifest himself. The Lord is going to manifest himself. So this is a great news. Now, this is a great opportunity to be at that place where the Lord is going to manifest himself. Now, what is this manifestation of the Lord? Krishna Swadamapagate Damaginan Dibisaha Kalona Sadishana Esa Purano Kuduno Ditaha. That Lord Krishna, when he was here 5,000 years ago, he performed so many leelas, so many pastimes. He enlivened his devotees, so many things. The Lord showed us his farm, his pastimes, and all that. And then at the end of his pastimes, after 25 years, the Lord wind up his pastimes and close his earthly pastime. Whatever was being manifest became unmanifest. Aprakat became aprakat. Aprakat means unmanifest. So it mentioned that the Lord, he took away everything with him, his pastime, his abode also, everything. He went back, his associate, everything, they all went back. So now, what happened now? What happened to the universe? So the Lord went back to his abode. Again, then I mentioned that now for the benefit of the people of the age of Kali, the Lord decided again to manifest himself. The Lord decided to again to incarnate himself. But what is this incarnation? Not in respect to the physical manifestation. The Lord manifests himself in a literary form. The Lord manifests himself in a literary form, and that literary form is SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM. So therefore, SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM is the literary incarnation of the Supreme Lord. That's this SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM. And this Bhagavatam, it came through the mouth of Sukadeva Goswami. This so Sukadeva Goswami, and who's Sukadeva Goswami? Sukadeva Goswami is but a personal. This is the is Srimati Radharani's own pet. That's Sukadeva Goswami. And that's why, I mean, how come, why is it that the Lord had it, why is it that Narada Muni, Vyasadeva, the Bhagavatam did not come from their mouth? No, because Bhagavatam is Krishna himself. Bhagavatam is Krishna. And it's mentioned in the Shrutis that Srimad Bhagavatam is the Lord's form. It is the Lord's form. And there are, I think just like we have 12 cantos of Bhagavatam, and each of the cantos of Bhagavatam represent a certain limb of the Lord. For example, the first canto of Bhagavatam, first and second canto of Bhagavatam represent the Lord's lotus feet. They represent the Lord's lotus feet. And the third canto represents his leg. Then by the time you go up, like the fifth canto represent his abdomen, sixth canto, seventh canto represent his chest. And then by the time you reach the 10th canto represent his face. 10th canto is his face, and is his forehead, is 11th canto, while 12th canto is his head. So therefore, there is a whole 12th canto Bhagavatam represent the Lord's various forms. So Srimad Bhagavatam is the Lord's transcendental literary incarnation. So the sages, they have this indication that yes, the Lord is going to come in the form of Srimad Bhagavatam, and his personal pet, Sukadeva Goswami, is going to give this narration of Bhagavatam. So that this attracted all the sages to come from all over the universe. This attracted all of them to come from all over the universe. And many of them, they are like millions and millions and millions of years old. At that time, when Bhagavatam was being spoken by Sukadeva Goswami, Vashishta Muni, who was actually one of the Saptarishi, one of the 7 sages, Saptarishi, he was already millions and millions of years old. Vishwamitra, they were all there, millions of, because their narration is there in the Puranas on when they came. But Sukadeva Goswami, he was just like a child. What is Sukadeva Goswami's age compared to the age of these rishis? These rishis, they were millions of years. So Sukadeva Goswami at that time, his age is actually his actual age, even though he looked like he's 16 years old, but his actual age that time was about 100 years old, his actual age. Maybe around 100 years old. But because his form, but he looked like a 16-year-old, because he looked just like Krishna. His form, just like Krishna's form. His form is just black, his form, very beautiful, very attractive, but at the same time, very, 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 very renounced. But just to go a little bit forward from this verse, when when Parikshit Maharaj, he welcomed all the sages, he welcomed all of them, that, oh, what a great privilege for us, that yes, we who are just also there, how fortunate are we that we're able to receive your graces, addressing the rishis. And then he was asking them the pertinent question. The pertinent question is that this world, what is the most beneficial? What should be one's activity, one's duty? What should be the activity of a person, especially for a person who is about to die? What should be the main engagement for a person who is about to die? And then, so this is the question that Parikshit Maharaj asked the rishis, all the sages, which also include Narada Muni also. Narada Muni was there, Vyasadeva was there. So he asked them, but all the sages, they all simply say that yes, we're going to give you a blessing. We're going to be here with you until you leave your body, until the snake and the bird came. Yeah, the snake bird came. We're going to be with you, and we're going to give you blessings. So they are making all kind of promises, whatever all of them they will do. So, of course, as I said in the Vedic scripture, that normally, whenever there is a gathering of many sages, there always be different opinions. Was the sage Yashori Yashab that two sages, they will never agree. There's always different opinions wherever many sages gather together. So many opinions were there. Everybody was giving different opinions as to what Sukadev, as to what Parikshit Maharaj should do. So now, all of a sudden, Sukadev Goswami came into the scene. Sukadev came. He was naked because he was Atmaram, self-realized person, totally beyond. He was totally niguna. So he came into the assembly. And when he came into the assembly, so when all the sages saw Sukadev Goswami, even though in age-wise, Sukadev Goswami was like a baby, grand children, the kind of. But when they all saw Sukadev Goswami, they all got up for Sukadev Goswami. All the sages got up. They stood up from their seat and received Sukadev Goswami, and immediately they gave him Vyasasan immediately. They gave him Vyasasan. Just imagine. So which means Sukadev Goswami was not an ordinary person. He wasn't an ordinary person. Where Sukadev Goswami was making this appearance, when he was born, when he was making an appearance in the world, he did not want to come. He didn't want to come to the world, because his mother was keeping him in her stomach for about 15, 16 years. He refused to come out. He would not come out. Because at that time, Krishna already closed his pastimes, or Vrindavan pastimes. So he refused to come out. So and Vyasadeva made plea to him, "Come out, my dear son, come out. He said, "No, I'm not going to come out." He said, "Because if I come out, I may be affected by Maya. So therefore, I don't want to come out. I'm not going to come out." And then his father told him, "To my dear son, I promise you, you will not be affected by Maya. I promise you. So come out. You will not be affected by Maya." But Sukadev said, "No, I see that. You are a Grihastha. Grihastha means, you're in the Maya's kingdom. So I'm not coming out." And then, so Vyasadeva tried, and then he went to Dwarka. He went to Dwarka to get Lord Krishna to appeal to Sukadev Goswami to come out of his womb. So Vyasadeva went to Dwarka and to appeal to Lord Krishna that, "Please come and tell Sukadev, my son, to come out of his mother's womb." So Lord Krishna came to the ashram of Vyasadeva and told Sukadev Goswami, I said, "My dear Sukadev, you come out of the womb. And I promise you that you will not be affected by Maya. So come out of the womb." So immediately Sukadev came out, because Krishna says, "I promise you, you will not be affected by Maya." Because after all, who is Maya? Maya is Krishna's servant. Krishna is Mayadish. Mayadish means the controller of Maya. He's the master of Maya. So Krishna said, "I promise you, you will not come out of you will not be affected by Maya." So Sukadev Goswami, then he came out. Then he came out, which of course surprised Vyasadeva. Vyasadeva said, "Look, my dear son, you when I told you to come, you didn't want to come." He said, "Because I'm a Grihastha." But Krishna is married to 16,008 wives. who is a much bigger creator than me. He has got a 16,000 wife. And he told you that you're not going to be affected by you came out. But when I told you that you will not be affected by Maya, you will not come out. So why is that? So Sukha replied that, well, Krishna, he's the controller of Maya. He's Mayadish. So therefore, if he says so, then I will come out. So in this way, Sukadeva Goswami, his position is such a, it's such a personality that's difficult to even, there's even no word to describe him. So the sage, they had information that yes, Sukadeva Goswami is, Parishit Maharaj, he had sat down on the back of the Ganges, and through their spiritual vision, they could see in their vision that yes, Sukadeva Goswami is going to come. And Sukadeva Goswami is going to narrate the Srimad Bhagavatam. He's going to narrate the Srimad Bhagavatam. Then what a glorious, what a glorious episode that's going to be to hear Srimad Bhagavatam directly from the mouth of Sukadeva Goswami. To hear the glories of the Supreme Lord, to hear the narration, the beautiful narration of the Supreme Lord from this source, from this Sukadeva Goswami. This is a great festival. This is a great news. This is a great festival. So therefore, the rishis, they came from all over the world. They came from everywhere they came. They so happily came because yes, they have to witness this occasion. They have to be there. They have to witness this occasion. And this is the beginning of Bhagavatam, whereby this is like the preamble of the appearance of Srimad Bhagavatam, by which the same when Parishit Maharaj, he had asked the rishis that what should be the activity of a person who's about to die, and many sages, they were all giving their different answers. Different answers they are giving. But when he asked the same question to Sukadeva Goswami, Parishit Maharaj asked the same question to Sukadeva Goswami. Sukadeva Goswami said, for a person who's about to die, you should hear Krishna Katha. You should hear the topics of Lord Krishna for a person who's about to die. The only thing you should do is just hear about Krishna, hear topics about Krishna. So when this information, when this answer reached the ear of all the rishis, of all the sages who had gathered there, all of them in unison, they said, sadhu, sadhu. Sadhu, sadhu means very well. This is the right answer. This is the right answer. They say, sadhu, sadhu, this is the right answer. That yes, you are given the right prescription. And then in this way, Sukadeva Goswami began to speak Srimad Bhagavatam. So we're going to be hearing more in the next few, the narration is going to be going on from now on. So I'm going to stop here. So if you call, some sages are here, like Srivas Prabhu, Ganga Prashada, we will say also. So you can add something to what has been said. So Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. His Grace Ishara Prabhu for the class. Dear devotees, if anyone has a question or comment, you may indicate by using the hand emoji or your physical hand, and then you'll be asked to ask your question. Ishara Prabhu, yes, in text 5 of this very chapter we are treating, it is said from the translation itself that Maharaj Parikshit sat on the bank of Ganges. And then in the following verse, which is verse 6, it is said that he sat at the bank of Yamuna. And Srila Prabhupada says he sat at the bank of Yamuna on the authority of Srila Jiva Goswami, to which I even asked His Holiness Dr. Traditional Swami Maharaj a question on, because I found it to be something that it was like a folklore. Everybody was following. He sat at the bank of Ganga. He sat at the bank of Ganga until Jiva Goswami came, which is about 4,500 years difference. So I just wanted to point that one out. If anyone has a question, please, you may do that.
Yeah, actually, there is a place called Sukrital. Sukritala is a place where Sukadeva Goswami spoke the Srimad Bhagavatam. And because Ganges and Yamuna, they both came from through the Himalayas. And because the palace of Parikshit Maharaj, River Ganges flow, it's like in between Ganges and Yamuna. Yamuna came this way and the Ganges came this way. And they both went, they both closed down through their separate ways. So this place called Merut, which is up in there. Merut is a place when you are going towards the Rishikesh, the Himalaya. So Merut, the Yamuna and Ganges, they are not far from each other. Yamunas and the Ganges, they're not far from each other because they are both flowing down from the Himalayas. So, but of course, it's all known that Parikshit Maharaj was by the Ganges, because the palace of the Kuru Palace, Hastinapur, is said to be on the bank of the Ganges. Now, and also sometimes also says Yamuna because they're very close to each other. So there may be some kind of an interchange in terms of how the house is interpreted. So because they're not far from each other, so it could be said to be Ganges, it could be said to be Yamuna, like that. So that's just the.
So anyone with a question? Well, Ishwara Prabhu, see, this pastime of Maharaj Parikshit is so wonderful in the sense that Maharaj Parikshit is described in the scriptures that he was so powerful that because of his power, the personality of Kali could not actually advent himself. He only, the Kali was only able to advent himself after Maharaj Parikshit had left the planet. And so that means that when Maharaj Parikshit was ruling, there was no room for Kali to display his powers. Now, when Maharaj Parikshit met Kali begged him, and Maharaj Parikshit gave him some places to live. Now, excuse me to say, common sense will tell us that there were no such places found in Maharaj Parikshit's kingdom. And Maharaj Parikshit was not just a ruler of one small tract of land. He was the ruler of the entire earth planet. So where did Maharaj Parikshit ask Kali to live?
Yeah, so that was mentioned that he was given 4 places to live, 4 places, which means wherever there is illicit sex, wherever there is gambling, wherever there is intoxication, so in such places, Kali can live there. So because it was beginning of Kali age, Kali Yuga, so such places were manifesting themselves during the beginning, during the time of Parikshit Maharaj. So the residents of Kali are those, wherever there's those places, illicit sex, gambling, intoxication, and all that. Wherever there's gold, Kali will be there. So, and now that doesn't mean that was it that Parikshit Maharaj was influenced by the age of Kali? No. the situation of Parishar Maharaj, whereby putting the snake on the head of on the neck of the rishis, and he subsequently caused, by which he later on went to the bank of the Ganges. This is all the arrangement, this is all the Lord's own arrangement, because the Lord wanted to manifest himself in the form of Bhagavatam. So therefore, this is all the Lord's own drama. And the Lord performs his drama, and he uses devotees as a tool for this drama. He uses them, just like the Lord wanted to speak Bhagavad Gita. So therefore, he put Arjuna into confusion. Arjuna, he became confused. So that then the Lord speak Bhagavad Gita. It's not that Arjuna is confused, he doesn't know what to do, but the Lord wanted to speak Bhagavad Gita. So therefore, he put his devotees into such situation so that he can speak the Gita. So similarly also, Parishar Maharaj was simply used as an instrument by which Bhagavatam could be manifested. I think I say Hari Chakra. Want to ask it? Okay,
No,
Hari
no. I don't think you will get in my question, because the answer you gave me does not somehow answer the question I asked. The question is, Maharaj Parikshit asked Kali, the personality of Kali, that you cannot live in my domain here, no way out. But these are these places you can live. And of course, we even heard that he also asked for extra place, which is a place where there is gold. Now, all these places Maharaj Parikshit asked Kali to live could not be found in his kingdom. So where did Maharaj Parikshit expect Kali to go when he was ruling over the entire planet? And because he was so powerful at his time, there was nowhere to find any of such places. So what did he mean? And where Kali was going to go? That's my question.
So I understand your question. When if you read clearly the chapter 17, where it is narrated, when Kali, when Parishar Maharaj told him about these places to live, now, therefore, Parishar Maharaj said that you cannot live in my kingdom. You have to get out of my kingdom. But that's because after, because Parishar Maharaj wants to kill Kali immediately. Actually personify Kali. It's not that it's Kali, but it's a personification of Kali. So that's where to understand different. Kali age is there. Kali age is about to begin. Actually, the day that location left the planet, that day, Kali Yuga immediately came that day. But the personification of Kali for this personality, which means this person, he embodied the kind of characteristic that one will see in the age of Kali. So when Parishar Maharaj he wants to banish him from his kingdom so that you cannot be anywhere in my kingdom. So this fellow said, look, where can I not see you? Wherever I go in your kingdom, I see you everywhere. So you must give me a place to live. He said, okay, then you can live in this place. Whatever. Then he gave those places where there's gold, where there is intoxication, where there's gambling, and all that. And it's not that there wasn't those things in other ages. I mean, after all, it was in Dwapara Yuga when the Pandavas and the Kauravas, when they gambled, there was a gambling. That's how they're able to gamble away their kingdom, the Pandavas. So it wasn't that there wasn't such places before. Such places were there before. And that's why, because it means such places are always there. So when personified Kali was asking for where to live, it's okay. Wherever you can find these places, you can live there. Where there's gambling, intoxication, gold, and all that, you can live there. So it's not that there wasn't such places in the time of, even in during the time of in the previous ages, it was there. Those places are always there. But it's very, very rare. And they was always under control. But it becomes much more predominant only in the age of Kali. So anyway.
Thank you. Then it becomes contradictory because it is also said that because Maharaj Parikshit was so powerful, such places could not be found in his kingdom. But we'll move on to Harichakra Prabhu. Please unmute. Harichakra Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Prabhu, thank you for your class. My question is, I've been hearing over and over again, most of the time when devotees preach, they said when Krishna was leaving the planet, Krishna carried his entourage, his places of Leela, like his kingdom, or he carried everything with him back home, back to the spiritual world. And today, just when you were speaking, you also mentioned it. You repeated that thing. So my question is, if Krishna, when he was living, if he went away with everything that he brought, including his places of pastime, then why do we still insist that like Vrindavan, what do we call it? Mathura and all these places, where we say, why do we still talk about there being places of pilgrimage if Krishna has already carried them away?
Okay, that's your question.
Yeah.
Okay, good question. Yes, because those places, they are part of the spiritual world. They belong to the spiritual world. Just like, for example, different countries have got their embassy in their particular, just like, let's say United States, for example, you have many countries, they have their embassy there. Nigerian embassy, Ghana embassy, whatever embassy. And when you're in that embassy, it's like you're in that country. And if the embassy should, for some reason, closed, there is no more embassy, but the land is still there. But it's not, you can no longer say, okay, this land is Nigeria land, or this Nigeria, or this is Ghana. You can no longer say that. But even though the same land is there, but embassy is closed, but the same land is still there. So similarly, when the law came here, because Vrindavan or Yamuna, this all this personality, this are part of the spiritual, the spiritual. And then when the law leaves, it finishes pastimes. So all those spiritual places, they all become unmanifest to him. But however, the manifestation of them is still there, just like Yamuna is always here. However, there'll be a time when Yamuna will no longer be visible. There'll be a time when Govardhan will no longer be visible. And that is when Kali Yuga will actually become fully manifest. It mentioned that this is there in the scriptures. That yes, when the Lord takes away everything with him, and then he again manifests himself in the form of in the Bhagavatam. Just like I made the example of embassy is there, but when the country closed the embassy, but the land is still there. So similarly also, yes, Vrindavan is still there, even though the actual Vrindavan is in the spiritual world, still Vrindavan is still there. And that's why, when people come here, people are able to perform their materialistic activities. But devotees, they have different vision of Vrindavan. Devotees see it differently, whereas the non-devotees, they see it differently. Like there's one story, one time, there was the king of Delhi during the Muslim rule of India. So the king of Delhi, he had come to Vrindavan. His name was Akbar. He came to Vrindavan, and he was attracted to the sadhus there. So he wanted to render some service. He was attracted to the sadhu. Because at that time, Vrindavan was just like a simple village, around everything. So he came to Vrindavan, and then he went to Sanatana Goswami on the bank of Yamuna. Normally, Sanatana Goswami, he does his morning sadhana, chanting his bhajan on the bank of Yamuna. So the king, he went to him, and said that, and asked him that, is there anything I can do for you? I'm the king of India. Anything you ask me, anything I can do for you. So Sana Goswami, he did not even reply. He did not say anything to the king. But what he did was that he picked up a mud. He picked some mud. He put his hand in the mud of Yamuna and put it in the hand of the king. So he put this mud on the hand of the king. And when the king opened his hand, instead of the mud, he found that the mud is actually not mud. It has turned into, to the diamonds, the jewelries, some precious jewels it has turned into. And the king was so surprised that these kind of jewels, I don't even have it in my treasury. I don't even have it in my treasury. Because the pure devotees of the Lord, they don't see Vrindavan like normal people will see Vrindavan or the place of pilgrimage. They see it as the same place as the spiritual world. But even though it's the same place as the spiritual, the pure devotees sees, but the non-devotees, they see it just as any ordinary common place. So which means the place of pilgrimage like Vrindavan and Mayapur, it can be for different persons according to different angles of vision, like that. So that's why we have to say, so that mainly we have our faith in the scriptures that yes, why is that the devotees have been Vrindavan? Because they see that it's Christians here, Christians performing his daily pastimes. So the great personality, Prabhupada Saraswati, he said that if anybody tells me to get out of Vrindavan, he says such a person is my enemy. Because you see Vrindavan as a place of jam, is a transcendental place. The lost lila is going on eternally there. But one has to have a vision to see that.
I understand what you are explaining. So my worry is that then we should still insist that Vrindavan is still around. Krishna is still there.
Yes,
but
of course.
Why do we? Yeah. So why do we say Krishna has carried it away?
Krishna has carried it away. He has carried it away from the non-devotees. But for devotees, he has brought it back to you. That's why we are in Vrindavan. I'm here in Vrindavan. Shiva's Prabhu is there in Mayapur. Why is that? Because the Lord is there.
Actually, if I may, the answer Ishvara Prabhu you gave to Harichakra Prabhu, the very first answer you gave, I think it requires a further explanation because I know in my country, there is American embassy there. And as we speak, if you go there, you see so many people flocking there because people want to have a visa to come to America. Now, if for some reason the American embassy is no more there, who is going there? Who is going there to see the land? And if somebody is going to see the land, how many people will go there? So people are flocking to the embassy because they know that they can have a visa to travel to America. So similarly, we travel to these holy places because we know that they still are embassies to the spiritual world, that if we go there, we may be able to have a visa to travel to the spiritual world. So if you are saying that, not just you, others say the same thing, that when Krishna came and performed his pastimes and he left, he went with all his paraphernalia. So Harichakra Prabhu's question is, if that is the case, which means that Vrindavan is taken away, Mayapur is taken away, everything is taken away. So what are we going there to do?
So that's why we say it has been brought back to you. That's why Bhagavatam is there. It says taken away again, brought back to you. So when you hear Bhagavatam,
excuse me. Lord Chaitanya gave us 5 things. Lord Chaitanya, he gave us 5 things. First, he says Sadhu Sangha. He talked about SRIMAD Bhagavatam. He also talked about places of pilgrimage. So even though SRIMAD Bhagavatam is Krishna, but reading SRIMAD Bhagavatam alone does not mean that because we read SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM, we should not visit places of pilgrimage.
If you have Bhagavatam with you in your house, you have Krishna. When you have Krishna, you have everything.
Okay.
You have Krishna, you have everything. So whether that is needed.
Kavikanapur and Krishna. Oh, sorry. If you have Ishara Prabhu, you speaking. Go ahead.
Okay, you can ask your question.
Kavikanapur Prabhu, you may unmute.
Yeah, I was just listening to what was going on. So I'll just say that what Prabhu Ishara was saying is, that is it now, because any of the five can actually give us perfection. So because they are not different from Krishna. So if you SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM, you focus on that, you attain Krishna. That is what Krishna Maharaj did. And many others also like that. So I just want to say that. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Okay,
No,
good.
thank you for saying that. I am not saying that having SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM cannot give one the opportunity to go back to Godhead. And therefore, one should not also say that visiting places of pilgrimage cannot give one the opportunity to go back to Godhead. Because if someone is saying that when Krishna left, he left with all his paraphernalia. So Vrindavan is no more there, and somebody is going there, it doesn't make sense. That's all we're saying.
Prabhu, Prabhu, just like what you are saying, like most devotees, when they go to all these places, we don't really see Krishna because we see all the distractions that are there. So all these places are to make us to remember Krishna. That is the essence. When you go there, you remember Krishna, you see the sadhus who come there, they remind you of Krishna. And that's why Prabhupada said we should not stay there, because by staying there, then we lost that taste and we start seeing all the distractions. So what Prabhu is saying is true.
I am not saying it's not true. Kavikanapur Prabhu, Ishara Prabhu.
Oh,
Don't
let's
get me wrong.
Shivas
I'm not
Prabhu.
saying it's not true.
Shivas Prabhu, let's hear from you.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Shivas Prabhu, and let's hear from you, Shivas Prabhu. Had something to say.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the verse where it said that when Krishna left, he took away knowledge, he took away religion. I want a specific verse.
That is chapter 1, text, I think chapter 3.
Yeah,
It's in chapter 3.
Yeah,
Krishna Swadamo Pagati Dhamma Genandibisaha Kaluna Situshana Isapurano Kudunodita.
I think it's 344, something like that.
344. Okay. 344. I want the verse. I'm looking for it. Yes. Yeah, it's 343. Thank you. 343, the verse says, Krishna Swadharma Pagate Dharma Gyanadibir Saha Kalo Nashta Drishtamisha Purana Ko Dunoditaha. This Bhagavad Purana is as brilliant as the sun, and it has arisen just after the departure of Lord Krishna to his own abode, accompanied by religion, knowledge, etc. Persons who have lost their vision due to the dense darkness of ignorance in the age of Kali shall get light from this Purana. Yeah. So, I think Sutta Goswami is making this statement that when Krishna left, he was accompanied by religion, by knowledge, etc.
Yeah, but if you look at the purport also, Prabhupada also elaborated for on the purport.
Okay.
Dharma, the paraphernalia, the associates and everything, they all accompany him.
Okay. Yeah. It says, a moment, I'm just trying to get it clear out. Yeah, it says, when he descended to the material world, he displays himself with all the paraphernalia in his eternal potency, which is called Atma Maya, In the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says that he descends by his own potency, Atma Maya. His form, name, fame, paraphernalia, abode, etc. are not therefore creations of matter. He descends to reclaim the fallen souls and to establish course of religion, which are directly enacted. So anyway, the point is that Shuta Goswami is saying that when the Lord left, he was accompanied by religion, he was accompanied by knowledge and other paraphernalia. But the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is as brilliant as the sun, has arisen after the departure of the Lord to give us light in Kali Yuga. So it means even though the Lord had left with his paraphernalia, he made the necessary arrangement, and that is why this story is beautiful. This story is sweet. This story is wonderful because as Krishna was going to go, he made arrangement for Parikshit Maharaj to be cursed so that the Srimad Bhagavatam would manifest to still provide the light, the nourishment, the enlightenment that is needed. So actually, with the Bhagavatam, with the holy name, with devotee association, Krishna again manifested all of these things so that we can still take advantage. But actually, Krishna left with them. But again, he made a provision for us to get this enlightenment. In fact, I also read somewhere where I think Slavishna Chakravarti Thakur or even Narottam Das is also saying that in Kali Yuga, we should not even visit holy places. You know, one of them, either Slavishna Chakravarti Thakur or Narottam Das Thakur, he says in Kali Yuga.
Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He said Tita Yatra Parishrama. He said that going to a place of pilgrimage is just labor only. Parishram means labor.
Yeah, but in one purport also, Prabhupada quoted, I think Narottam Das Thakur, that one should not go to place of pilgrimage in this age because the examples that are shown by people who live there is not very encouraging. Because people who live in these holy places, they have commercialized the place, they have made it something else. And so by going there, one's faith may even be affected. So, and of course, he said, if you have to go at all, then you have to go in a company of advanced devotees who can reveal the holy place to us. Otherwise, if you just go there by yourself, wanting to see the holy place, you'll be cheated. So it is the statement that is made by Sutta Goswami, and we need to understand that he is speaking this because he has a certain level of understanding that Krishna has left with the paraphernalia and his paraphernalia, but at the same time, the Lord made the provisions for us in Kali Yuga by manifesting Srimad Bhagavatam, by manifesting the holy name, by manifesting different things that would help us. So in simultaneously, he took away, and at the same time, he replaced certain things. So it happened simultaneously. Krishna went away with his paraphernalia and all those things, but simultaneously he arranged for the Srimad Bhagavatam, the holy name, and other things that will help us in our spiritual progress. So it is a fact. Otherwise, Sutta Goswami will not be making such a statement, which is part of the Srimad Bhagavatam. So I think it's not an issue we have to debate about, because Sutta Goswami, who heard the Bhagavatam from the lips of Shukadeva Goswami, repeated it to the sages of Naimisaranya, and he's making this statement. That is my little contribution.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhu, Prabhu Srivas Vanachari. Thank you very much. It's not that I don't understand what Ishwara Prabhu was saying, and it's not that I don't believe that Krishna went away with his paraphernalia, because the scripture is saying it. Who am I to challenge it? But at the same time, my point is, the only, you see, when Srila Krishna Prabhu, before he left this planet, one of the reasons why he said he wanted to leave his he wanted to leave his body in Gita Nagari, he specifically mentioned that he wants to leave his body in Gita Nagari because he wants to prove to the world that what Prabhupada has said is perfect and complete. That Prabhupada says that wherever the pure devotee touches becomes a place of pilgrimage. So he wanted to prove to the world that because Prabhupada was in Gita Nagari is a place of pilgrimage. So it's as good as going to Vrindavan. So this is the way I understood what Guru Maharaj was saying. So all the question I was asking is that if we keep hearing that Krishna has taken his paraphernalia away, then what is the insistence of, oh, we have to go to Vrindavan, we have to go to Mathura? But if you are explaining to me, if I'm being explained to that, we are going there because of the, what do we call it? The presence of devotees, pure devotees in that environment. If that is the reason why that place still remains a place of pilgrimage, then I have no doubt. But
yes,
other than that, then it's so baffling that we insist that this is a place of pilgrimage. But if that is the explanation, that it still remains a place of pilgrimage simply because there are Krishna's pure devotees there.
Yeah.
And
that's what we are saying.
Okay. So
then
my doubt.
So a place of pilgrimage because of presence of the pure devotees. Otherwise,
then my doubts are cleared.
Otherwise, just another materialistic place. That's all.
All right. Thank you.
I mean, for example, the same place of pilgrimage, people are drinking wine, illicit sex is there, so many sinful activities there. Same place of pilgrimage. So why are we going there? Because the pure devotees are there. Pure devotee, they see certain things, so therefore we go there to hear from them. That's the only reason, and that's because that is the only place where you will see them. So therefore you go there. It's not that.
Thank you.
It's not that we make it. It's not that we make a beeline to go to the so-called place of pilgrimage. No.
Thank you.
A place remains holy because the pure devotees are there. That's a place that remains holy.
Hare Krishna, thank you. I'm happy, Hari Chakra, you say you are satisfied. I am not satisfied. In the sense that I'll put this on the screen for all of us to see. Sorry. This is here. I don't know if you can see it. The right Rupa Goswami. Yeah. Let me see if I can increase the font. Yes. Rupa Goswami has stated that the 5 kinds of devotional activities, namely residing in Mathura, worshiping the deity of the Lord, reciting SRIMAD Bhagavatam, serving a devotee, and chanting the Hare Krishna mantra are so potent that a small attachment for any one of these 5 items can arouse devotional ecstasy, even in a neophyte. This is what Rupa Goswami is saying. Let me repeat. Rupa Goswami has stated that the 5 kinds of devotional activities, namely residing in Mathura, worshiping the deity. 1, residing in Mathura. 2, worshiping the deity of the Lord. 3, reciting Srimad Bhagavatam. 4, serving a devotee. 5, chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Any of these 5 is so potent that a small attachment for any of these can arouse devotional ecstasy, even in a neophyte. So, of course, if we go to a places of pilgrimage, and there are many saintly devotees there, it enhances the arousal of devotional service. But if even there is nobody there, the mere fact that Krishna has stepped his lotus feet at that particular spot is a holy place. Regardless whether there are saintly beings or not, it's still a holy place that once you go there, there is a spiritual effect. No one can deny that. After all, there are many of you who may be speaking that Srimad Bhagavatam is the same, yet you love to travel to holy places. Ishwara Prabhu, you've asked me, which I really appreciate, to visit you in Vrindavan, and I'm dying to visit Vrindavan. Why? I'm reading Srimad Bhagavatam here. I can read Srimad Bhagavatam in Vrindavan, but there is going to be a big difference in me visiting Vrindavan. So I do not see how we can conclude that there is no difference between reading Srimad Bhagavatam at my place here and then visiting a holy place like Vrindavan, visiting a place where Krishna was taking his cows for flocking. Oh, Krishna. We all know, except maybe on this particular platform at this moment, we all know that there is a big difference between such holy places and all other places. So this should not be a debate. It should not be an argument.
That's what we have been saying. And as mentioned by a great child like Srila Prabhupada Saraswati, whereby he said that one moment of devotional activity that one perform in Vrindavan is equal to thousands of other activity, same activity in other places. So therefore, it's not the same. But again, it's, the great desire has to be there. Just like Srila Rupa Goswami says that that ideally one should stay in Vrindavan. Ideally, that's the ideal thing. But if one is unable to do so, it was a Seva Sadaka Rupina Seva the chapter. He said that if one is unable to do so, then one should have the spirit. So which means whatever one may be, one can have Vrindavan spirit. That's what we call Bijabha's spirit. If one is physically unable to stay in Vrindavan, then one can have the consciousness of having Vrindavan. What else? What is the consciousness of Bijabha? Their consciousness is to always satisfy everything they do is for the satisfaction of Krishna. So that's why we say that a pure devotee is always in Vrindavan, even they may be anywhere, but he never leave Vrindavan. Just like Srila Prabhupada, we said, I'm always in Vrindavan, even though he was in America. He said, I never leave Vrindavan. So again, it's a matter of consciousness that we may have. So of course, when we have Vrindavan or place of pilgrimage physically, it enhances a lot, tremendously, in terms of our advancement, because the result is just the chanting that you will do here is just the same benefit. It takes thousands of more times to get the same benefit if you're outside. So that's why it's proper always encourage devotees, at least once you come to visit, at least once in a lifetime. And of course, for those who have attained the old age, it's definitely recommended that once you spend one's whole age in a place like Vrindavan or Mayapur. Yeah, so anyway, I think some other question apart from this. I think it's enough debate. Otherwise, we will never.
Prabhu, now we are humbly requesting you to pray for some of us who haven't been to Vrindavan, to visit Vrindavan, because some of us, we really, really want to visit holy places like Vrindavan.
So you have to come.
Because there is definitely a big difference.
You know, ISVARA Prabhu, with all due respect, I'm not debating on this issue. But now, what you just said, you have brought me back to where I was before. You have brought me back to where I was before, because I know, I also know that Vrindavan is a powerful place. Yes, but for me to hear that Krishna has taken everything away, then maybe that statement of Sutta Goswami, it needs a real purport. And please, I'm begging you, all the acharyas on this forum now, Srivas Vanachari, ISVARA Prabhu, please, I'm begging you, please try and help me get the purport of that Sutta Goswami's statement, so that
the purport is there. Prabhupada wrote a long purport on there. Just read it. 1, 3 and 43.
So it means no. Does that mean Vrindavan is gone or Vrindavan is still around?
Vrindavan is always there. Vrindavan is never gone.
Thank you. This is
Vrindavan can be there. Vrindavan can be there in your house.
That's all you wanted to know.
Vrindavan. Are you in the truck?
I think the issue is that Krishna simultaneously took away these places and simultaneously put them back. I think that's the understanding. Because whatever Sutta Goswami is saying is a fact. And then we are also from experience, it's also a fact. So it means that simultaneously Krishna took away all these places and then simultaneously he put them there.
Thank you.
So
that's why I'm striving to come to Vrindavan.
Yes, right.
I've been a devotee all these years. I've never been to Vrindavan. So that's why I want to be in Vrindavan.
So you come. I'll be here. I'll be here to
Krishna. Hare Krishna.
I'll be here to welcome you.
Yes.
And when you come, get ready to cook African food. When you come to
Hare Krishna.
we relish it together.
Hare Krishna. So
we don't hear from Mataji. We don't hear from Mataji. There are a lot of Matajis here on the forum. Why are they not asking questions? Any Mataji want to ask question?
Okay, so this is a direct challenge to, or also submission to the
Cheda Devi, Sunita Devi, Narayani, Jambavati, Atma Devi, Vajitaruni, Loka. Is this the same Jambavati in my when I was in DC, or different Jambavati?
Yes, she is.
Oh, really? Hare Krishna. Let's hear from Jambavati Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
All glories to Guru and Guranga. I really don't have anything to say, except I'm just really relishing this lively and exciting debate that you all are having, and just really marveling at the knowledge and the detail with which everyone knows the Shastra. So I am very enthused and inspired to want to go deeper in the studies of Shastra. So thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Nice hearing from you.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Srivas Maharaj. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Guru Dev, all glories to Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna.
All glories to
Guru Dev. All glories to all the wonderful devotees.
All glories to the wonderful devotees on the platform.
Hare Krishna.
I just got to know that you started the Bhagavad Gita translation into our local language and the other small books I'm so much excited. Can you tell us more about it?
Well,
How you going to go about it?
That is your idea. Sometime back, you raised the issue in this class. So we followed it through when we visited in Kokor and we spoke with Adarshi Prabhu. And he also revealed some amazing dream. I think I mentioned it to you, that many years ago, His Grace Prachitas Prabhu, who has passed away, had a dream that there was a very big hand from the sky that handed over to him a Bhagavad Gita, a very huge sized Bhagavad Gita. And they didn't understand the dream anyway. But when I told him that devotees are requesting that we have the Bhagavad Gita translated into Chui language, he said, well, that is the meaning of the dream. So he was very excited. And so he immediately said he will start. But then he said, okay, instead of just starting with Bhagavad Gita, he would do a smaller book to gain experience. Then he would now move on to Bhagavad Gita. So he said, coming back and beyond better and that, and the books he's going to translate first, and then after that, he will go on to Bhagavad Gita. So that is your idea, your request. And so we have initiated that project, and we hope it would bear some fruits in the near future.
Haribol, this is amazing. Very, very wonderful. So, let us know if we need to come in to help in any way.
Okay. I will ask Adarsi to contact you if there is any need. I will let him. I mentioned to him that it was you who brought him the idea, so I'll let him contact you if there is any need.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much.
Hare
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Oh, Hare Krishna. So anyone with any question or comment before, of course, it's getting late.
Yeah, for us in
Right,
India.
probably. And Shivas Vanachari there in India. Going late. Anyone with any question? Otherwise, we're going to Salika Prabhu, are you still there? Salika, you have something to say?
Krishna.
Is Salika there?
Yeah, he's always multitasking. So, well, devotees, I think we're going to humbly request you all to kindly unmute, and then we chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra to express our appreciation to our speaker, who is as tolerant as a tree. Jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Hare.
Panchakalpatarvishya kripasi.
Actually, everybody comes here when
Namo
especially those who knows they always come here.
His Grace Ishvara Prabhu ki jai.
Namaha.